Hello and welcome back. Let's talk about self-mastery. Why? Because I do this thing personally with my own self-mastery where I like to believe what I've already figured out. Like I've already figured out how to master the thing. And then upon figuring it out, I slack. Not right away, but like 6 months later, right? And then I'm like, well, maybe I can give in to that desire of my brain. Let me lay it out more of an example because I feel like people can resonate with the story rather than my explanation of it. So my personal non-negotiable needs to have a productive, motivated day means I cannot leave my bedroom, because we have a bathroom in the bedroom. I can't leave my zone until I am showered, stretched, prayed, affirmations, dressed completely, watch jewelry, everything on, hair done, everything's good to go. And then I broach the downstairs. Why? Because if I don't do that, and I do, well, let me just get up and make breakfast, and then I'll get in the shower, and then I'll do the thing. That's not going to happen for me, personally. Maybe at like noon, but like that's way too late to be getting my mind, body, and spirit onto the ball rolling of the day. Like, I need to be up and moving at 7:30 a.m. Like, shower, stretches, prayers, affirmations, the whole rigmarole. Because if not, I'm not starting my day with dopamine release, which is your reward chemical. So if I'm not gaining a reward, I lose steam, man. I lose it. I don't know about you guys, but let's say if someone else notices your hard work, right? Wow, look what you did. Look how hard that was and you did it. Doesn't that feel good? Like it makes you feel like validated, like alive. I don't know how to explain it. I have that personally. Like when my boyfriend comes home work, I'm like, I mopped the floors and I did the dishes and I did this for my work and I carved a stone and I had 2 sessions today. And like, does he need that? No. But I like to hear, wow, babe, you worked hard today. Or, wow, that's a lot you got accomplished. Or even if it wasn't a lot, just, wow, you got that accomplished. Good for you. And that fuels me. But yet we cannot rely on others to always see what you're doing to then release that dopamine. Like in those early morning hours when it's just you and the day. You have to set the precedence for the rest of the day with the brain chemical hacks. You have to do it. We can't wait around to be validated by others. As great as that would be, it's just a waste of time. And also like not everyone has a healthy person that's gonna, cause like my partner and I've been together for 5 years. So he knows I like that. So he'll go, oh, look, and you finished the puzzle. The horse puzzle's done. Like, we've established that in our relationship because I've already known that that's something I need alone. Alone, I need the same validation as I receive from another person. And once you establish that alone and you figure that out, it's easier to create healthy interpersonal connections with people because you already know what you need from them. There's no guessing game of figuring out, wow, that person really not really my vibe. Yeah, right. But like you didn't know because you didn't like know your own vibe. And then you got to fumble through a relationship with somebody to like figure it out, which is also a way to do it. There's no like wrong answers here. I just personally too sensitive for that. Used that option for too long and it really kind of crushed me. Doing things alone and learning how to self-validate, learning how to self-motivate, learning how to hack those brain chemicals on my own without the heartbreak of figuring out the lack from others. I feel like empowered. I feel good. So when I did meet my partner, I was just like, hi, my name's Lex. This is what I need. Meow. And of course, you learn more throughout your relationship, even in friendships, romantic partners, whatever. And you that's where communication comes in. Then you communicate these new vibes, these new feelings, because you have an understanding of yourself. So I cannot sacrifice that morning of things. That is structured. I see a huge difference in my motivation and capabilities for the day when having that structure, when having that dopamine release right in the beginning of the day, getting some endorphins in, getting my little stretches in, my little workouts in. Like, you are not your brain. I say this all the time, but you're not your brain. Your brain is just a biochemical organism, bioelectrical chemical organism. And it's up to you to give it and manipulate it and feed it and do all the things that are needed for it to work in a way that supports you in accomplishing. Because it doesn't just naturally happen. It doesn't. It's the routines and structures that back up your lifestyle that then release these chemicals. What does your lifestyle look like? You know, I work from home. I don't have a lifestyle that supplies me with dopamine, endorphins, serotonin, and things of that nature unless I devise them. Whereas if I were to work at a place with a bunch of people, I might get that oxytocin connection from a hug, or the connection of my coworkers, or the conversations can fulfill me and release dopamine. Also, because I'm working for somebody, they'll have a list for me that I have to accomplish, releasing my reward chemical. So that's something to be mindful of. Sometimes our jobs accidentally set us up for a healthy biochemical electrical brain functioning. But sometimes our jobs don't. Or sometimes if you work for yourself or you're an entrepreneur, you have to come up with these check boxes of chemical releases. No one's handing you a list and saying accomplish this. You have to hand yourself the list. So when people always say, oh, you know, working for yourself is great, it is. You do get a lot more freedom. However, that freedom is very much balanced with the conscientiousness you need to balance your brain chemicals, because you're not just getting them accidentally anymore. You're not getting them through coworker connection. You're not getting them through reward accomplishment from a job. You're not getting that. So you have to make sure that you're implementing these into your everyday life. Or if you have a job that's not supplying that, but you are working all day, that's something to think about. Maybe this job doesn't really support me if I have to still create that list on my own. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's choose your hard. It's not about choosing the easier route. There are no easier routes. It's just what road and what route do you want to choose that is riddled with challenges? What does the end of that road look like? Maybe it's more fulfilling for you than road A or road C. You want to go with road B. Choose your hard, but know that it's hard. Because self-mastery is the hardest part about it. You're not a victim of your circumstances anymore. We are now taking that power back. We are empowered and we are in control and of a complete awareness of our own functioning. It's not just like left out to the wind. Like, you get to wake up and decide, am I going to mold my brain today into one that is accomplishing, one that's motivated, one that's feeling empowered, one that's feeling excited and encouraged? Or do I want to mold my brain into, I don't want to do this. This is hard. Let me just get through the next thing. Because you have those two options. And like, I am very sensitive upon these two options. Living a life with CPTSD, major depression disorder, and anxiety, I am faced with these two options every single morning. And it's a very obvious choice. Like, I can either go down this road and feed the imbalances in my brain. I can feed the anxiety. I can feed the depression. I can feed the CPTSD. Or I can mold my brain to feed the opposite of what those symptoms give me. You know, to feed peace, to feed accomplishment, to feed calm and clarity of decision. These are choices, and I get to choose through my tasks or through my lifestyle choices. I am choosing which brain to feed. Now, does that mean that I don't still have just struggle days? Of course. Of course you do. When you're struggling with mental health, it's not like you can just, some days those choices you can't choose, and that's okay. When you're in that mode, you feed what you need, and that might be cozy blankets, movies, hot chocolate, friends. You know, you kind of ditch proactivity and accomplishment, and you take care of nurturing you. Because if my brain goes far enough down, I might sacrifice my entire life, and can't really afford that, you know? Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get your life back after you throw it away or try to. So, yeah. So on those days where it's not really a choice, it's overcome completely, we rest. But every day I am presented these two options. Typically I'm right in the fence middle, and I get to decide. I can feed my mental health challenges, or I can overcome them through a lifestyle that supports my unique brain wiring system. And that is self-mastery. Because if you're not beating yourself up or forcing yourself to fit into a box you don't fit into, and rather you're building a lifestyle that creates the potential of reaching your highest potential, your highest level of functioning, that's self-mastery. It's not just, there's a difference between self-awareness and self-mastery. You could be aware all day. You totally. Self-mastery is hacking what you're aware of and manipulating your brain through your lifestyle. You know, self-awareness is step one. You know, that's like you're becoming aware of the problem, or aware of it in general. Just not even a problem. You're just aware of all the thoughts in your mind and the actions that you're taking. And you start to recognize when I do, like I recognize, if I skip that morning routine, it is harder for me to move throughout the day. I feel more lethargic. I feel exhausted. The depression starts to creep in when I get tired. Then the anxiety comes in. Next thing you know, I'm slamming doors. We don't have a household where we slam doors. So if I'm at that point, I messed up. Yes, are there bad days? Sure. Not every day though, because through self-mastery, we're able to function and maintain a slow growth mindset, a self-sustainable growing process that doesn't sacrifice who we are at our core or our needs or any of our functionality. Without self-mastery. And yes, sometimes it takes looking at something you're not so proud about and then creating an actionable plan about it. Ever since I started my practice, I coach, so I'm sitting a lot. I'm doing a lot of meditation. I'm sitting, stretching and sitting. So what do I need more of? I need more steps. I used to not have a car, so I got my steps in daily. And I also used to be a waitress, a server, an expediter, cafe manager, things of that nature. So it's like, whoa, the awareness is my job has shifted. I am more sedentary. What's the answer? Movement. I don't need to punish myself. I don't need to make a big deal out of it. I'm just going to go for a walk after this video. Like, proactivity, working with yourself. I need more of that movement because my lifestyle no longer supports accidental movement. I have to enter it into my lifestyle. Put it a part of maybe that morning routine or whatever. That is a new thing that I personally am making space for in my universe of a lifestyle. And it does take work. You're used to a certain everyday functioning. You got to change that up drastic and dramatically. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take repetition of routine. Not perfection of routine, but repetition of just, a little bit. I couldn't reach my toes for years. If I bent over, my hands maybe reached my knees. And I set a goal, I can't even remember how many months ago, because once you set the goal and just start consistently doing it, it just happens. When we get in our own way and we remind ourselves, this is hard, this is so hard, it's painful and it's hard. No, you're labeling the experience. My goal is I needed to touch my toes. I have to be able to touch my toes. And now we touch beyond the toes. Do I now negate that from my daily routine? No. This is now a new and everlasting part of my daily routine. I stretch my hamstrings. I touch my toes. Like, that's embarrassing. I haven't been able to touch my toes since I was a cheerleader. And even then, they had to, come over and, push me because I'm not that flexible. I'm not naturally flexy. And that's fine. So I have to proactively enter that into my daily routine to become more flexy. That's okay. Once we start labeling it as bad or good, it's when you fall down the hole. So that's another thing with the self-mastery, self-growth journey that eludes me or just kind of surprises me when people shove a bunch of shit in all at once. That's doomed to set you up for disappointment and self-abuse. You're giving yourself an opportunity to get hard on yourself. Not all of this was a part of we didn't move this into our routine fast enough, or there was just so much to work with. How could you master one before moving on to the next? Our brains don't work like that. It's cool to have 1,000 goals. Awesome. Prioritize that list because you have to get an entire neural pathway to make it a normal function that just happens now. That's a you thing. You don't just wake up like that. People don't just wake up like that. It is a built and bred activity. You have to do it. You have to create the neural pathway. And if you're not I think it takes 3 weeks to create it or whatever. But in all reality, if you do it through play, actions of play, if you can get your mind in the mentality of perceiving this as a playtime, you will learn it in half the time. So it's our own mentalities that stand in our way from creating that neural pathway quicker and more efficiently. Because we attach labels of unfavorable rather than playtime. Yes, I need more movement. Walk around the block. Maybe I'll talk to, I owe my friend a phone call. I'll give him a call, put the headphones in, or I'll hit my neighbor up. Maybe she'll want to go walk with me. Or play games in the backyard. I forgot that I have a yard now. I want to get some cornhole. I want to get some wiffle ball bats, wiffle balls, get some bases out there. I would totally play wiffle ball all day and run around bases. For some reason, when it comes to working out like that, I could do that all day and not even question it. So what does that say to you about your perspective about a new routine or a new self-mastery goal? That it's all about how you're perceiving the action of obtaining it. Fun? Not fun. And don't label it, because then you'll disappoint yourself, but go into it with intention of, I'm having fun, and in turn, I'm getting healthy. That's great. Because your brain needs that. It doesn't need to get beaten up over it. It doesn't need to get reminded that this is new and hard. Or no, maybe this is new and hard. That's okay. But don't, about it. This is exciting. Every time you master a new thing, it's mastered. Like, this is exciting. We want this. Ooh, some days, I'm like, I'm not going to be the person that I picture. Some days feel like that, and that's okay. But that's not the truth. You're allowed to have an unproductive day sometimes. You're allowed to be a little disappointed sometimes. That's fine. But don't embody that shit. You apply it to the next day. What am I going to do tomorrow to make that better? What am I going to do tomorrow to alleviate those feelings I have on my heart? Because that's really all that matters. What emotion are you jamming up in your chest right now? Alleviate that. What do you need to alleviate it? Personally, I gotta move. I gotta go for a walk. So what are you holding in your chest or in your mind that you keep repeating to self-deprecate? Because that's what needs a proactive plan. Because that, sitting in there and sitting in here, is only attracting to you more crap to make you feel like that. So if we can eradicate that and get on just feeling good about ourselves, feeling that self-love and that hope and that faith in ourselves, then already you're going to attract the blessing you're looking for. So then my self-mastery goal won't be as challenging because I'm in a vibrational state of accepting it. Of accepting the new neural pathway that I need to maintain it. It's weird. It's all programmed brain stuff. Like, are you going to get mad at your computer because it's not a drone? No, it's a laptop. You bought a laptop. You want to make that laptop into a drone? What do? You got to go and learn how to disassemble a laptop and build a drone. Can you? Yeah, you could. Do you want to? That's your choice. Are you that sick of the laptop? Or could you maybe just do something else to get the drone? Whatever. My point is, you don't get mad at the laptop for being a laptop. You just get a proactive plan about it, or you go and get the drone. So that's the thing. Because I caught myself doing that. I was getting mad a little bit at myself because I have excess tummy floof, which I'm not used to. I'm not used to that. I've been unhealthy for so many years. I don't know what my body looks like healthy. So this is what my body looks like healthy, but I know that it could benefit from more movement, from more cardio. I can't be getting winded on hikes with my friends all the time. That's just embarrassing. Right? So it shouldn't be because of the looks, because when you really think about it, I don't have a basis to even judge what I look like right now. But we do, because of society, and we compare and contrast. But that is what then creates that stuck and stagnant area of that self-mastery goal, because we compare and then we want it for the wrong reasons, and then we start to hate ourselves, which sucks because I actually am completely in love with myself for the fact that I'm even in a position to have a full belly. So we're erasing all of that growth to get to instead, because now look at what we've got. Instead of seeing it as, look at all my growth, I finally mastered my eating habits and eating consistently and for my mental health and drinking enough water. I finally mastered it. Awesome. But what comes with that mastery? A body that needs movement to burn the excess calories. So it's not about erasing and going back. It's about recognizing the growth that you've already obtained and then proactively adding to that growth. How can I maintain the health that I've gained and also not feel as tight in my skin or just feel breathing easier? I also smoked cigarettes for who knows how many years. So yeah, who needs it? I need it. I need lung airs. I need air in my lungs. That's what I need. I need cardio. I need air in my lungs. I need these things to heal my body. It's not about what I effing look like. But the second we get into that state of mind and that perception of labeling it as good or bad, we already put ourselves in a vibrational frequency that won't attract the solution. It'll only maintain us in a stuck cyclical pattern of self-destruction. So it's all about how you can perceive this self-mastery goal as a part of your evolution, your evolutionary goals, and to recognize when you've accomplished a self-mastery goal you've been working on for so long and celebrate it. Even if it opened up another challenge like mine did, now I have to work on maintaining my figure for my health, because I do feel healthier when I can move better, when I have more energy, when I'm not so tired breathing. And that is just the next step. It's just the next proactive solution that we need. It's not bad. It's just great. Now you've got a healthy body and you've got enough calories to support movement. So move. Let's go. Which might also open me up to other avenues. Who knows what could be opened up to me because of this? Just now, just saying this with you guys, I don't want to just walk around my block. I'm going to go drive to the hiking trails. Yeah, they're only 5 minutes away from my house, but I'm going to go drive there and I'm going to do a loop there. Maybe I'll do the big loop because I'm there by myself and I'm not talking the whole time with somebody, so maybe I won't be as out of breath. That's the thing. And now I'm excited. That's the point. How do you get yourself excited for this stuff? And that's all about a perspective shift. It's all up to you. It's those two choices you're given in the morning. You're given choices of how to mold and manipulate your brain for the best possible outcome that supports you authentically. You are given those choices because everything's built on the basis of duality, and we have the gift of free will to choose. Those are laws, universal laws that exist. Duality and free will. So which one do you want to choose? And on the days where mental health isn't mental healthily, you choose blankets. You choose comfort food. You choose friendship. You choose movies. You kind of abandon everything else for that day. And that is okay, because we can't have these self-deprecating thoughts anymore, or thinking oh my God, I was so good yesterday and I'm not good today. Accept the you of today. The you of yesterday doesn't exist. And the you of tomorrow hasn't been created yet. So what are we doing today to accept and help self? It could be a self-mastery proactivity, or it could be a self-mastery self-soothe, But we're always making choices every day. And are they choices that support wellness or choices that promote dis-ease? We discussed that a little bit last time. So what's next in your self-mastery journey? What have you gotten? What are you proud of that you've recently accomplished or overcame, or that you've figured out a routine for Think about that for a second. Give yourself hella pats on the back for it. I want you to be like, remember when I couldn't do that and now I do that every day? Remember when I struggled with opening up to my friends and now I open up to my friends? Remember when I used to count myself out of activities because of anxiety, but now I have a routine in place where I can go anyway and I self-advocate and I communicate and I express my feelings. Like, remember when I used to not be able to do that and freak out and punch holes in the wall? Remember? Look at us now. Now, with all those successes, what new challenges have been opened for me? Because that's life. You don't just solve a challenge and then no more challenges happen. No, it opens the door to another challenge. However, now you're on the roll of challenges that feed back into self-growth. You're not just being challenged by all the crap of untraining your brain and cutting shit out. Now these new challenges are bringing you closer to that highest potential. But don't think for a second that once you figure out, like once I figure out this movement thing and I'm feeling back into my healthy self, I'm feeling more fit and more able to do physical things, I'm not going to just expect that not to open up a new door. Like, okay, now maybe I have to do different stretches for my body, not just the ones that I do in the morning. Now I am feeling pain in my hips. Now I have to do hip stuff. Okay, awesome. That's showing you where there was a lack of lubrication in your joints. That doesn't mean stop doing the workouts. It doesn't mean stop moving. It's trying to support you to the up the stairs to the best version of yourself. So if we can start looking at self-mastery as that, the evolution of self, we can start switching that perspective of when we overcome a challenge and another challenge comes. And we can now face those challenges with those two choices and choose the choice that supports us. The choices that motivate, that hack those brain chemicals, that get the brain to work for your soul, who you are authentically, and not just letting it run amok with old programming. Or monkey see, monkey do programming, which we have the tendency to do because if we're around people enough, repetition of routine is also how you create a neural pathway. So you hang out with dogs with fleas, eventually you gonna get fleas. That's how that works. So watch your repetition of things because those are the subconscious neural pathways that are being programmed without your knowledge. Program them all intentionally. Don't just hang out to hang out. Don't just repeat things to repeat things. Do it for a reason. You're hand tailoring and stitching your brain into the best possible brain to work with you. And it's every day. If I, for some reason, felt like someone would ask me that question, yeah, it's every day. Every day you have to make these decisions. You cannot just not make decisions. A selection is a form of rejection. This is all you're hand tailoring your lifestyle and what your life is going to look like by what you spend the most time around. So I do everything with intention. No, do everything with intention. I don't know, some people poke fun of me sometimes, like, I don't know, Lex's schedules and routines, like, yeah, go ahead, like, you're so allowed to make fun of me for that, that's fine, because I feel myself becoming more and more powerful every year of my life, so, like, that's fine. If people want to make fun of me, if people want to put you down, if somebody wants to, oh, I figured you would be in bed by now, you're right, I should be in bed by now. Thank you for that. You know, like, it doesn't matter, guys. It's your life. And you have a set certain amount of time to live it. So, I'll be uncool because I'd rather be uncool and powerful AF in my own life and create the life that I deserve I'd rather intentionally live than be a victim of my circumstances and my own brain. Yeah. I can't be self-sabotaged by my own brain. Like, what the hell? We got enough. We got enough to worry about out here, okay? We can't have enemies inside our flesh. The hell? We got We got enough of that already. We gotta get our skin suit. We gotta get the meat suit on board. What's in your meat suit? I know every single thing that's in my meat suit. I'm not talking about just what I ate. I could do that too, but no, I know everything's going on in my mind and in my heart and in everything. And I choose to weed out certain things when they come up. Oh, nope, we're not doing that. Or, oh, we want to scroll on our phone too long. Nope, we can't do that either. Let's go mop. Let's get dopamine elsewhere. Real dopamine lasts way longer, by the way. You know when they used to have rollover minutes back in the day with like certain cell phone carriers? You get a certain amount of minutes for the month, but then if you didn't use those minutes, they'd roll over into the next month and you'd have extra minutes. That's how real dopamine and endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, and things like that work. When you get it real, like a self-sustained source, through self-action and whatever, it lasts so much longer and rolls over into the next day. Like, I can only imagine what my day tomorrow is going to look like because I finally got the proactivity going today because I released those chemicals finally after being kind of stubborn about it for the last couple days. I was like, man, I'm tired. And it is, so it's like, it is a choice. It's very much obvious when you start doing this and then you take like 3 days off like I did. I was like, Memorial Day weekend. No, It was harder for me to even enjoy having time off because I didn't do my structure and my routine. So you'll notice the difference once you try and then stop again. Yeah, and then my rollover dopamine, what's that going to look like in tomorrow? I don't know. I'm excited to see. I even mopped today. Maybe I'll buy a new mop head. It is time. But see, that's the thing. I'm not overwhelmed by these things, whereas old me would have been ridiculously overwhelmed by this. I would have had to stop thinking about all of this and go ground outside for just talking about it, just thinking about it would have overwhelmed me to the point where I'd have to go do tools about it. So, it goes to show you, it's possible. Yeah, I was the kind of person that couldn't even watch someone else try and, organize my house. That triggered my, everything would set everything off. Oh my god, I don't even want to go down that road. We can go down that road in another video, because I think that might be helpful for some people to know that you can really be, down there, and you can go here. It doesn't mean that you're fixed. It doesn't mean that you don't have these challenges. I still sometimes, depression and PTSD shit, it happens. But I do have control over how detrimental it is on my lifestyle. It used to be the thing that consumed me. Now I have a lifestyle that supports it, and we all work in a nice little harmonious unit. So, yeah, that's a story for another day. I forget sometimes. I forget. If someone picked up their car keys before I was ready to leave the house, which, by the way, was another freaking rigmarole, I'd have to start all over again. And, what do you mean by that, start all over again? I don't know. It was, made up random things that I had to accomplish before I walked out of the house that meant nothing to anyone else. It's exhausting. Now we have plans and routines for that. Now we have a structure for that. It's all good. Self-mastery is, it's how you take your life back, especially after years of trauma and mental health challenges. This is how you take your life back. And switching that perspective into seeing it as something playful and fun, and this is your evolution of self, that'll get you into that vibrational frequency to attract the proactive solution that's going to stick for you. Just remember that. It's all about your perspective shifts, home dogs. It's so true. It's insane. It's insane. The only thing against you is you. You could say so-and-so's against you, sure. You can have real haters out there, but you know you also have the you can cut them out. Like, that's easy. Like, give me an external hater over an internal hater any day. Because I can just, you gone. Internal hater, so much harder. So I'd rather build a lifestyle that supports my inner world than the haters and their expectations and what they need from me. Nobody should need anything from me, all right? No one should need anything from you. Is it enjoyable to have your company? Yes. Do you add something to somebody's life? Yeah, that's great. But, like, you don't need me. Red flags. You can enjoy me. Don't need me. It's weird. That's too much pressure for me. Could I help in a situation? Sure. But don't make it like I'm the only one who can help you. That's when I'll run away. And I'm making a joke of it so that kind of sticks in your mind more, so you can recognize that an external hater, an external naysayer, an external doubter, an external expectation giver, anything external is easy. It's easy. It's easy to cut out. But for you can't cut that out. You can't lobotomize yourself and cut pieces of your brain out. That's not how it works. So internal, way harder. Way harder. You got to retrain. That comes with a lot of nurturing, self-love, compassion, grace, proactivity, structures, routines. Right. So the internal world matters way more than any external whatever. Just remember that. Because then when people enter your life and it seems to drain you, you'll start to realize, do I have the time to get my inner voice back into that of a support ally voice? All because of this external person creating doubt or making me feel lack or making me feel less than I am. No, I'm just going to cut that thing out. I'd rather maintain and preserve all the growth I've done on the inside. I am not going to sacrifice that. I'm not going to drink poison just because I'm thirsty. So, just reminding you guys of that. It's harder to do the inner changes. It's easier to cut out shit that doesn't serve you. So do it. Do it! Every ending is a beginning anyway. All right, my self-mastery friends. Have a great day. I'm going to go walk before it rains. Because it's gonna, again. See you tomorrow.